Yeah. So again, forgive me because I know I do this, but I've talked to you about it before. This is going to be the one with the solar panels.
Okay.
And it's like I took a screenshot of it so I understood how to input it on the hybrid
Uh-huh.
section thingy. But I don't really understand it to be able to like recreate it myself.
Which part don't you understand?
So if I go ahead and move it
Wait,
to the
wait.
sub two side.
Would
I'm
it be
sorry.
easier if I put it in and then you just tell me where I lose you?
Yes. Okay, cool. So you need the numbers.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So just while you're looking up the numbers, just refresh my memory because that was like 150 deals ago.
Yes, it was. Okay, so
It's a sub two,
mhm.
and then so they don't want their equity. If the solar didn't exist, it would just be a straight sub two. But because the solar exists, then that's the second part of the solar financing, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this deal. It's like
Um
$39,000 on the balance for the solar.
no, oh my God.
Yes, it was.
Um oh my freaking Lord, where is it?
And let's see. We want to
Mm,
try and make 10. I don't remember what it'll rent for.
I mean I got the screenshot, but I'm not sure. Anyway, this is it right here.
Okay.
So the I believe the purchase, I'm just gonna give you the mortgage balance and we can figure out the purchase price.
Okay.
Mortgage was 508.
Okay.
PITI was 2808.
Okay.
Seller finance is 39.
Yep. Because that's the balance of the solar, right? And it's at like 1% or 0.99.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the payments on that was like 166 a month.
Right. What were you giving them as a down payment? That's what I don't remember.
So I put 40, but he wanted like close to 10%. And I already let him know that's probably not possible, but I do want to get as close to that as possible, if I can.
All right. Let's see what we can do then. And what will it rent for?
4,200.
Did you do short term?
Short term, yeah, I think it was less than the long
It
term.
was. It
So
was like 38.
yeah, just a hair shy, but not good enough.
Oh, look it. It's still here.
Oh, yay! Okay, good.
So then which okay, so you just gave me the numbers. Which part of it is confusing you?
I'm not really understanding what I'm looking at. I mean, obviously I do, but I mean, let's say I want to go ahead and send an offer, and I know the offer is supposed to be similar to what's on Deal Sniper, but it's my understanding that this would just be like I'm only using the hybrid window for solar finance.
Mm-hmm.
When I need to go ahead and take it a step further to, finish the underwriting, I need to transfer it to sub two, right?
Right, but it's the exact same thing as if it were a hybrid or yeah, as if it were a hybrid. So let's say this was a hybrid. Forget about the
Mm-hmm.
solar. Let's just say they had $39,000 in equity they wanted. And they agreed to all this. They agreed to $166 payment. What would the contract, the additional terms look like? It would have the mortgage information at the top, and then below would be the seller finance terms. So
Mm-hmm.
it would be $39,000 seller finance, 0% interest, amortized over 30 years, monthly payment to the seller, $166 a month until paid off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just replace that everything that with seller finance with the word solar. That's it.
Everything.
Yeah. So when you're doing this, we're using the calculator to calculate the numbers just because the hybrid already has a spot for us to put another thing there.
Got
But,
you.
but for the contract, it's going to be the same. You're gonna put the mortgage information at the top, and then right below it, instead of seller finance information, you're just going to put the solar balance, the solar rate, the
Oh.
amortization, the solar payment of
Mm-hmm.
166.
That is pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
And then what does it look like if I want to bump it up closer to 53 or 10%, I'll say.
If we did 50 grand, you'd be at 12. Your cash on cash return is a little low. I would still push it because you're
Mhm.
doing just about $600 a month.
Mm-hmm.
What's the interest rate of the mortgage?
Just a second. Just a second.
Like it's decent, right? It's not like 7% or anything like that.
No, oh my God, no.
Okay.
But it was 3.6 or
Oh,
3.8.
yeah. I mean, I would say you're probably good. The only other thing that I would find out is what is the maturity date for the solar,
Okay.
because it would be nice to let the potential buyer know that, hey, yes, there's the solar, but once this year or whatever year and it's fully paid off, then your cash on cash return is 12.6% and you're clearing about $9,000 a month for a year.
Okay. Now is that going to be something that I include in the additional terms once
No,
I
no,
know?
no. It's something that I would put in my notes to add to my disposition material.
Got you. Okay.
Just
Um,
further letting the buyer know, hey, yeah, there's a solar payment, but it'll be all paid off on this date, and then this is what your cash on cash will look like, not including any rental increases.
okay. Okay, so let's say I mean I'm gonna ask, but let's say I don't ask about the maturity date. Can I do that math myself? Just like 166 times blah 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 or divided by blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah, you can just reverse engineer and figure out what the term is or how many years left.
Okay.
Just keep in mind it's at a 1% interest rate, so you have to factor that in.
For sure. Okay. So I'm never adding those numbers together, right? For clarity.
No,
Solar and the mortgage
no,
rate.
no, no. The if this didn't exist, or if they have a subject to and they want to capture their equity and they have solar, then yes, I would just add the solar balance and the solar monthly payment to the PITI just because there's an extra spot for it.
But since they don't care about equity, the solar goes there and it all works out.
Yeah, so, because here we just have a spot to put the numbers
Mm-hmm.
because they're not capturing their equity. If they did want to capture their equity, then I would say run it normally, and then here is where you would add that $39,000, and here is where you would add that $166 payment.
Got you.
Now on the contract, you're still going to separate everything. We're going to do it like this just for the purposes of calculating the numbers.
For sure. And I'm the only one that sees this anyway, so I get you.
Okay.
And then lastly, do, 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 do. How's it going with the Arizona one on you guys' side?
Oh, that one buyer.
Yeah, he said no.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me hit up Brandon really quick. One second.
No, you're fine.
All right, thanks, bro. All right, I just left him a voicemail. I'll just have to hit you up when he calls me back.
Okay. And I'm should I have heard from your dispo at all though? Because I haven't, and it's making me feel like I did something wrong.
What do you mean?
Like, do they call and let you know or prompt something or update you or anything of the sort, or did it kind of just I just
No,
gotta trust the process?
no, if they had something, yeah, because they're given your email address, your contact information, because if one of our buyers wants to walk the property or take a tour or something like that, or they have another question that wasn't in the notes that you submitted to us, then they would call you to find out.
Okay. Well, I will sit back. Well, not sit back, but I got you.
How
Thank
many
you.
days do you have left on your inspection period?
Today would have been day 5, not counting Saturday.
Well, yeah, because you did business days, right?
I did, absolutely.
Okay, and then what day did you get it signed?
Last Wednesday.
Okay, so that's the 4th? One,
Mm,
2, 3, 4.
yes,
Yeah. And then how many days did you get? 14? 10?
14.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so you have until the 24th.
Okay, good. Yeah, like I said, I'm still working on it, but and I mean coming up with my own dispo template. I just overthink, obviously. So by the end of your live today, I will ask about the dispo form, but I'm good for now.
Okay, cool. Any other questions?
I'm good for. Wait, what?
Did you have any other questions, like another deal to go over or anything?
Oh, no, not right now.
Okay, cool. Anybody else have a question? And just to be on the same page, we're doing this open forum style. So I'm going to stay on as long as there are questions for me to answer, deals to take a look at. If not, then we can jump back in the live and get back to sending offers out.
Sean, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I had a property presented to me, and it was one of the off market Facebook Messenger groups, and he just so happens to be a licensed realtor in Texas,
Mhm.
and he's also the owner of the property. It's been on market for quite a bit here, and my issue with this is it's not a creative finance deal,
Mhm.
and he's looking for an all cash offer. I just want to know, how do I calculate um an all cash offer? The
It's on market right now, right?
correct
Okay. And what's it listed for?
225.
And how much work does it need?
Not much work. I mean, it's a turnkey property. I wouldn't say no more than 20K.
Okay. And how much do you want to make on it?
I mean, minimum of 10.
Okay. So you can offer him $105,000.
Okay. And how do I go about if he then asks for proof of funds? Like, how do I go about doing that?
Well, he knows you're wholesaling it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you just let him know that you'll provide proof of funds as soon as you secure a buyer.
Okay. Perfect. And that is like once I have it on contract, and then would that be shown after my buyer is interested?
Well, you lost me there for a second. Say that again.
Sorry. So when like I'm just trying to figure out if he wants to see the proof of funds, would I then respond back by saying, um, not a problem. I just need my buyer to do their due diligence. Once they've done that, we can then like show proof of funds, I don't know, maybe 24 to 48 hours after.
Yeah. What I would do is I would check the cheat sheet in Discord.
Okay.
And if you scroll up, I think it's like 7 or 8 messages up. There's a POF answer, and basically it says, "Hey, I have no problem submitting proof of funds. I've got X amount of buyers in this market that are looking for properties like this. So as soon as I get it under contract, I'm going to pass it over to them. Give me about 2 weeks for them to do their due diligence. As far as this property is concerned, I can think of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 that'll definitely be interested. I just need to
Okay.
identify which one.
Okay.
So once I have identified which one it's going to be, I'll submit their proof of funds, and I'll even submit EMD 48 hours later.
Okay. Sounds good. I think that's all that I have, actually. Thank you for that.
No problem.
And
And
so,
the MAO calculator is what you want to use for on-market properties.
okay. And what if it's an off market property?
Then you use the one next to it.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you so much.
No problem. Ricardo, what's up, man?
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Fantastic. What can I do for you?
Excellent. So this kind of goes off of what we spoke about earlier today when I had DM'd you. So that agent, actually, let me just kind of bring it back. So you remember how I told you that they had that agent that had a company that was trying to like let go of all their portfolio? So she finally sent me
the guy that wanted 50% down and 7%.
Exactly. So they sent over a list of all 20, I don't want to say 29 properties. Only 9 of them are not vacant, the rest are. And so they range from about like 43,000. The highest is about 79,000. But like I said, most of them they're occupied, some of them like Section 8. And basically I know they want 50% off. I'm sorry, 50% down, 1-year balloon, 7% interest. Now, instead of me comping all that stuff, right? Is there any way, like, I'm thinking, like you said, 10% is the max. So I'm just trying to like negotiate. Maybe if I could bring them an offer like that would sound, I guess, presentable. So if I said like 10% down, maybe like a 2-3 year balloon, I'm just trying to structure it if you know what I mean, in order to see if I can, you know.
Well, you're going to have to run the numbers for each property.
Okay.
You're going to have to figure out what each property rents for. And then actually only then can you start using the calculator to tweak the numbers to see what numbers work and what numbers don't. So there's no blanket way to do it across the entire portfolio. Some properties are going to rent for one price. Some properties are going to rent for another. So it's all going to depend. And then based off of the purchase price differential between each one, 7% after a 10% down payment, that's going to be completely different. It's going to change the cash on cash return for each property. So portfolios are a lot of work. I mean, they're worth it, but yeah, you're going to have to put in the work for each one.
Okay. But if I put all that together, are there buyers out there that would be willing to purchase a portfolio that large?
Oh yeah. Yeah. If the numbers are right, I mean, up to 10 million. Shit, 15 million is the highest one I ever moved.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll work on that. Appreciate it.
No problem. Okay. Does anybody else have a question or a deal that they would like help with? Or a realtor situation or whatever, anything.
I have a situation, Sean.
What's up? Wait a minute.
All right.
Christopher? Did I say that right?
That's fine.
Oh my God. Is it really just Christopher? And I just said it. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's okay. That's all right.
No,
Throw
it's
me off.
fine.
Oh, you're amazing, man.
Holy shit. Well, it's on YouTube now. What's up, man?
What's up? So I kind of mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago, but I'll refresh your memory. So it's basically a land deal. And I know you said we have a few land buyers, but I wanted to bring this up here.
Is this the one with where I told you to go look for the people who bought the other property nearby? Is that one?
Same person, but different land deal. So
Okay.
that one, they just bought a survey, or they just ordered their survey yesterday. And I do have someone waiting to see if they'll buy that, but they have to wait for the survey, of course.
Mhm.
But the other one, this one I'm talking about is so it's 4 different lots all right next to each other
Okay.
in a developing neighborhood in Texas. My original buyer she put in an offer. Let me back up for a second. I'm sorry. So it's listed at 169. All 4 of them are listed at 169. They're like a quarter acre. They're overpriced at what they're listed at just because the owner got in too high on it, so they're trying to save themselves, I guess.
Mhm.
So my original buyer put in an offer for 115 for all of them. Like that was the highest she could go. And I put in a different offer and they didn't accept it, and they were like, the lowest they take is 149.9
Mhm.
for all 4, like for each.
Hold on a second.
So
Is this on market?
yeah, it is.
Okay, you can't offer that close to the price that it's on market for. That's why I tell people I don't get me wrong, I understand that people have had success doing cash or on market deals, but you have to offer like 60% of what it's listed for if you're going to do a cash offer.
Well,
minus your assignment fee.
this one wasn't, like I said, my original buyer offered them 115 for each, and they're listed at 169. The seller is the one that said they wouldn't go any lower than 149.9.
Okay.
And so when I came to you, I asked, do you think seller finance will work? And he was like, yeah. So right now, I sent them an offer for seller finance, and she said that they seem favorable, but they want to know the builders' names. So
Okay.
my question to you is, there's 2 questions actually. First question is, do you have any like land buyers in your network that buy
I
like infill lots?
Yeah, I mean I my dispo team guy Shane, he might have a couple, but we're not giving out, like, that when I put in the cheat sheet about how we sign NDAs with our investors, that's true. So we're not giving out their name or putting them on the phone or anything like that. Their name and information or their LLC or trust or whatever they or whatever entity they're going to be buying this property under, it'll be on the paperwork with title and escrow, but we're not giving that out before anything's signed or even
Yeah,
after.
that's what I was gonna. Okay, because I remember you saying that. But how would I put that, like, write that out? Like, if I were to use that as a response. Um,
Go to the cheat sheet and look at the posts at the bottom. That's word for word what I would say. Which is essentially what I said just now.
yeah.
We sign NDAs with our investors. So their whatever entity they choose to purchase the property under will be on the final paperwork filed with title and escrow, but we're not giving away that information right now. We can't. And if they're pressing you for it after you mention the term NDA, I would just move on. You're ice skating uphill.
Yeah, because she said that the seller was just curious. Well, let me go back to the text. Hold on. Because it's not her, because I told her. Okay, so she said, well, I'll tell you what I told her first. I was like, because I've been in communication with a few investors, and most of them use a variety of builders to suit their needs, depending on where they're building at. I can understand your seller's perspective, but I wanted to know if there's a deal to be had here before going through the hoops of trying to pin one down. Also, I wanted to know if you have the CCR with the instructions, they'd have to follow it anyways, regardless of the builder, right? And then she was like, but yeah, I can send you the CCR. She was like, do you have a list of builders, whether you use them or not? I think they just want to have an idea. And then this was Monday. She said, okay, we talked about it more today. He's gonna get with the owner and see what his thoughts are on the owner financing piece and get back with me today. So that was Monday. She hadn't gotten back to me yet, but
Okay. Yeah, I would wait and see what they say. I mean, because again, your hands are tied.
yeah,
Unless you find a buyer who's willing to buy that and then they don't mind you telling the seller and the realtor and putting the business out there of who they are and what they're planning on doing with it.
I think that the owner, I guess they want it to be like they probably want to know who's gonna be there to build on it. Like
Why? They're
if
selling it.
it's a
It's not theirs
that's
anymore.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get why. But I think because I think it's part of the neighborhood development, so they probably want it to be like uniform-ish.
I mean,
But that's
I
what the
get
but
that.
that's what the CCR is for. That's my
Yeah,
whole point.
exactly. Like I get that and I can appreciate that that's what they want. And I'm trying to be not trying to be an asshole or anything, but people in hell want ice water. Doesn't mean they can have it.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it is what it is. And again, once you use the term NDA, that's it. That stop asking. You literally, if you ask me again, you're asking me to break the law, or at least breach my contract. Break the law, maybe a little extreme.
They come pretty close nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm gonna talk to her probably tomorrow and give her a call because I texted her that, and I feel like it would have been better to have the phone or have the conversation over the phone rather than over text. But I'm gonna give her a call tomorrow and basically explain it to her like that. And then see what the owner said about the seller financing bit because it's been on market for a bit,
Yeah, land usually is.
and like I said, I understand they're in that situation because I did have a buyer that would have probably gone through with it if they could have gotten their price, but they just couldn't go any lower than
Is the
149.9.
is the buyer that you had at what was it, 105, 115, something like that?
Yeah, she was at 115, and then she was like,
So
anything under that is your price. So I gave them an offer of 90, And I said there's a bit of room to negotiate, but that's pretty much where we want to be. And
I mean,
then,
I would give them a choice. I would say we can do seller financing and you're not going to know who the buyer is, or we can do the cash deal at 100 and I talk to that buyer in particular and they don't mind me sharing their information with you. Which one do you want? Because it's either or.
right, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that
No, that's why you're here, right? Does
while we're here.
that answer your question?
Yes, it did. And if they go with the seller finance, is it cool if I shoot you like a screenshot of like the numbers to see if I need to if you think it'll sell to anyone in your dispo? And if not, I can either renegotiate terms or just end the deal because I don't
Yeah,
know
I
that
mean,
many.
I'll always help you guys look at the numbers and I'll give my opinion when I'm asked for it, but I am very vocal that my team, as good as they are, we're not awesome at moving land. We've got like 5 or 6 buyers. I think one of my acquisitions guys has quite a few buyers, like a lot of buyers actually in Texas, but I don't know if they're land. I just shot him a text message. So I'll let you know.
But,
But yeah, you can absolutely send me the numbers and I'll tell you what I think, regardless of whether you JV with us or not.
but I can DM you that now. My Discord name is Shadow. I'm sure you've seen it in there.
I've seen it. I'm never
Yeah.
gonna think of anything other than how I tried to pronounce your name like 5 minutes ago. But
You
all
know
right.
what's funny? I got a quick funny story. I don't want to hold you up too long, but when I was in high school, there was a kid at my school named Christopher or something like that. Or no, his name, what was his name? Christoph. Like just Christoph, just straight up. And he was like the stupidest kid ever. And I ended up being in an English class with him, and my teacher would call me that by mistake, and I just like get so mad about it.
You know what I think it was? That is a funny story because I had a student. I used to teach martial arts to troubled kids when I was a lot younger. And one of my students' name was Christoph, and he was a goofball too. But when I saw your name, I immediately had Chris Christopherson flash in front of my face.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think I just mashed that shit together. That was the funniest thing I've done in a long time. That was hilarious. Anyway, I'm glad I answered your question. Keep me posted on that land deal, and I'll do what I can to help you, but you can't bank on us. We're just moving land is just not our thing.
Got you. But thanks, Sean.
No problem. All right. Who else has got a question?
Hey, Sean. How's it
What's
going?
up, dude? When I saw you jump in here, I knew you were gonna have a question. That's why I waited.
I appreciate it. I'm getting a lot of leads that are more better fit for homestead buyers. Other than Facebook, I'm daisy chaining this. What else? What other channels can I use?
Okay. All right. I'll give you guys one. I'll give you guys a real good one. So here's something that I teach my disposition team to do. What zip code is your latest deal in?
1 second. I have the lead. 88203. It's Roswell, New Mexico.
88203.
So look up a buyer's agent who sold a flip there recently.
I would do the ones that have listings too.
Okay.
Absolutely, every single one of them. Because here's the thing. I guess this is all of them. I'm sure you'll have some duplicates, meaning agents that have multiple listings.
Mm-hmm.
But there's absolutely nothing wrong with calling Brian Brown at Keller Williams Roswell. See some aliens, dude? And saying, hey, look, I got this deal under contract in your neighborhood. I see you have Largo Drive listed. Can I email this to you? Do you happen to have any buyers that you think would take it? Here's what I'm trying to make. This is the important part. Here's what I'm trying to make on the deal, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. You can throw whatever you want on top. I don't care. If you can't throw anything on top, I'll take care of you when we close. Make your money. This is what I'm trying to make. I don't care what you make. Make it with my compliments. You need to make that crystal clear.
Okay.
And I tell them, especially if it's a new agent, like meaning new, like I've never spoken to them before, and this is my first interaction with them. First, you want to call the agents that you've dealt with before that's in the same area because you've already kind of built rapport with them. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a whole fleet of real estate agents that know your game. And I'll tell them, hey, I'm trying to make $100,000. That's what I'm selling it for. I'm making 10 grand on this deal. If you sell it for 150, keep that 50 with my compliments. I don't care. I intend on working with you a lot, so we might as well start off on a strong foot.
Okay.
That's what you need to see. You need to drill it home because they have people that they can call. And if they don't, they have agents in their office that know people that they can call.
Okay. Got it. And so am I giving them, when I say this is what I want to make this, am I just saying basically in the back of my mind, this is what my assignments fee, or am I just saying, hey, like entry fee, like I'm giving the entry fee with my assignment fee included, like $50,000 and $10,000 of that is my assignment fee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so down payment is $50,000.
Yeah, you don't have to tell them exactly what your assignment fee is. You can say, hey, I got this property. It's literally right around the corner from South Largo Drive. That's how I found you. It's a seller finance deal. The purchase price is $200,000. The total entry fee is $50,000. That's including what I want to make. Anything on top of that is fair game to you with my compliments.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, because you don't want to tell them exactly how much you want to make.
Yeah, no, because
you don't know them like that. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, let's see. Who else has got a deal or a question? Let's go back to that page. Ricardo, what's up?
Hey, I had one last question.
Go for it.
Being that that property or the properties are between like 43 and 79, what's like the least, or excuse me, the most amount of years that I could do for a balloon?
You mean the least?
Oh yeah, I guess the least, because they want like a 1 year, but I
Yeah,
just want
1
to
year's
see
fine.
like
Across the board, 1 year's fine. All right, I told you in the beginning that their balloon with those purchase prices, that's absolutely okay. It's not that. It was
interest
the
rate,
down payment and the interest rate. You need to run those numbers to see if that interest rate kills the deal. And just so we're on the same page, in case you don't know exactly how to do that, you put all your numbers in here. So let's take one that's $50,000, right? And let's say you're going to give them a $5,000 down payment. That's 10%. Let's see. So $5,000 down payment. You're probably going to want to not push this more than like 3,500 because it's 50,000. And then we'll just, for sake of argument, say it rents for 1,250, right? So there's the deal. Here's what the monthly payment should be. But if they want 7%, now that's what the new payment is. So when you get to this page on the seller financing tab, and you're putting in the monthly payment, you're going to put in the $299 that it gave you. And you see that? So you're going to put that in here along with your taxes and insurance, and you're going to see what your entry fee percentage is, and you're going to see what your cash on cash return is. And if they're in range, you're good. If they're not in range, then like I assume 77% won't work. It all depends on what the place will rent for versus what 7% against the seller finance amount is.
all right, got it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have a question?
One more question, Sean.
Go for it.
No, I know that someone from your dispo team had a while back put down just some things to kind of think about as far as the buyer or the exit strategy here. And one of the things that was listed is to avoid townhomes. Now I have a seller right now, and it's a very hot lead, and he likes the cash price that I presented to him. However, it is a townhome.
Okay. So the
Is
biggest
that
issue with the townhome is the HOA.
right?
So here's a couple of things, and I'm not trying to deflate anything. I'm just trying to make sure that everything's proper from the start.
Okay,
Is this property on market?
correct.
How much did you offer him? Is it within 60% minus your assignment fee?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Is there an HOA?
There is no HOA.
Oh, then you're good. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, okay. Great. And then, so that's completely fine to go ahead and continue.
Yeah, Yeah. See,
Okay.
here's the issue with HOAs and why we say stay away from them, especially with creative finance, is because it kills the cash on cash return.
Right.
Usually, I mean, depending on where you are, it could be $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. That's annihilating your cash on cash return. The
Right.
other thing that you have to worry about is that a lot of times when there's an HOA, they won't allow rentals. They won't allow long-term rentals. They won't allow short-term rentals. And if you can't rent it out, then why would an investor buy it?
That makes
That's all.
sense.
But if there's no HOA at all, that means there's no HOA fee. There's no rules for rentals. You're good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Amber, what's up?
Okay, this is going to be about the dispo form.
Okay.
So if you could pull it up so we can go through it together.
Sure.
This is for a hybrid, of course.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab one off of.
And I'm going to pick it apart, so just keep that in mind. I need to understand line by line.
Okay. So you grab the one from Discord, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop that. Okay.
Well, I honestly don't know if you have this one on there or not. I screenshotted this from you.
What do you mean?
Like on live when you pull it up, because I know you said you didn't know if you had any hybrid, and then you had a hybrid.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Wait. You're not talking about the dispo form. You're talking about the dispo flyer.
Yeah. Not
I
your
thought you
form,
meant
but
the.
yeah.
I thought you meant the dispo form. Like, okay, all right, hold up. Yeah, I can pull that up.
And that's my bad, because that's exactly what I said. But no, good question.
No, it's all good. I would have pulled it up here and be like, what the fuck is that? Where the hell is it? This it? No.
It's okay.
Hold
It's
on
the
a
same
second.
thing you said yesterday.
I gotta pull it up. Give me a second.
You're fine.
Where did I pull it up last time? Let me see. There it is. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Just riveting TV for everybody else. I gotta come up with a new joke. You said this all fucking time, dude. Okay. What do you need to go over?
Boom. Okay. So purchase price, obviously we talked about the TC and the CC part. Entry fee. And now this is where I include my assignment, right?
Where
On the entry fee.
This part here? No.
Oh.
No. I believe your assignment fee is. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes.
I keep thinking disposition form.
That's
No.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for this deal, well, you can't see the other part because it's got the actual address and everything. But for this deal is under contract for $17,500. That's the entry fee. So we're pushing it to 37 because we put a $20,000 assignment fee on it.
Shout out to them. Okay. Nice. Okay. Good. Now monthly payment. Does that seller note mean their monthly payments?
This part right here?
Yep. So like if they're getting paid $1,000 every month, I add that to the PITI?
Correct. So it would be whatever the mortgage is, because it's a hybrid. So whatever the mortgage is plus whatever the seller finance is totals that payment.
Got you. Okay, cool. Mortgage balance. Okay, boom. I know that. Balloon payment. Okay, so actually what I did here was, let's say again, $1,000 a month for the next 7 years. So I did 1,000 times 12 times 7. Yes.
Correct.
Okay, nice. Okay, obviously that's the date. And then you gave me the website to find out the MTR.
Did you
when
find
it
it?
comes to the reserves, I'm going to the calculator for that, right?
Yeah. So essentially all you're doing is taking the. Oh, you guys can't see that. Hold on. You know what? Let me just fix it this way. This will be easier. Give me that. And give me that. There we go. Okay, can you guys see that? Nope, I closed it.
No.
Okay, hold on. Closed it anyway. Okay. So essentially what you're doing is whatever deal you're doing, this would be a hybrid. You're 15, that's why I say 15%. You can do 3 separate lines at 5% each. I'm just making it simple and combining it, and then I'm adding those together.
Are you dividing by 3?
No, I'm dividing by 12 because remember, this is yearly.
Oh, shit. I was thinking because there were 3 of them.
No, because it's still 15%. You want all of them, and then divide it by 12 because here you're showing the monthly.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Makes sense. And then how would I calculate the rest of that section? So annual cash flow, just times it by 12 and, or does it pop up on that website?
No, it's right here. So it's in the calculator. You just take this number and divide it by 12. That's your monthly cash flow. Right? Yeah,
but no, this is for midterm.
Oh, yeah, same thing. So for midterm, you take what it gives you, because that website gives you the monthly, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So you take that, divide it, and wait, what are you asking me for?
Just how to find the midterm breakdown.
Yeah, same thing. You take that number that it gives you, and then you'll subtract that, because that's the expenses, and then you can break down everything else right here. Or, I mean, hell, if you really want to make it super simple, then you take the midterm number and you just replace it with one of the long-term.
Oh, and let it do the math for me.
And then let it do the math for you, and then just copy it.
Oh, man, this is why I like you. You speak my language. Okay.
Nah, man, I'm just lazy.
Hey, it helps. It helps me. Realistic cash on cash return. Okay. Bloop, 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 bloop. Short term. Obviously, I would know that. And I don't know if I was short of my screenshot. Is there anything underneath that short term section? Yeah, I didn't get the second page.
Oh, this part here? This is where it breaks down the actual property. Like how many bedrooms?
Okay.
What's the condition? And then here, how do they access it? Usually you'll put a link with the photos or a link to the listing if it's on market. And then below this, you would put your contact information here.
Okay. And then that net monthly cash flow, you said that you put an X there because it was negative, obviously. So that wouldn't work.
This deal doesn't work because I broke it down from the best to the worst. So it works best as a midterm, then a short term. And I put long term at the bottom because it's got a negative cash flow.
Lastly. Okay. That makes perfect sense.
But again, you can set it up, you can put the long term for it, doesn't matter. The point is, I mean, there are some that will take the condition of the property and all that and put it at the top right underneath the numbers and then break down everything else. You can set it up any way you want as long as the information's there.
Okay. And then my last question is going to be based on the hybrid that I just gave you. Do you see that moving well at a 7-year balloon?
What was it? A $539,000 purchase price at a 7-year? That's tight. Oh, but wait a minute.
We're not paying them anything. They're getting essentially the property for like 49 plus my assignment.
Okay, so then there's no balloon.
Oh.
Yeah, balloons are only on the seller financing portion, but the seller finance portion is the solar. So there's no balloon, which is phenomenal.
Amazing. Okay, so then in that case, I think I did my first one. I made a mistake because I put a balloon on that thing.
You'll probably have to get an amendment, and we can get that once we find a buyer. When you make your disposition material, there's no balloon.
Okay, so I will not promote it with that, but it is on the paperwork, but that's okay because we're going to do an amendment.
You'll do an amendment once you find a buyer. There's no point to do it now. You need to find a buyer first. Once you find a buyer, someone's going to take it, and you just say, hey, by the way, I don't know what I was thinking. I put a balloon on this thing as if it was a hybrid deal. It's not. So I'm just going to send you an amendment taking that off. Everything else is staying the same. Buyer's ready to close. We're good to go. That's it. You just make it sound like it's no big deal because it's not. It shouldn't be there anyway. It doesn't mean anything.
Technically, it is a hybrid, though.
No, it's not. Why is it a hybrid?
This is the Arizona property. So we're doing the sub 2 and then they're also getting that. Remember, it like the short term was like stupid good.
Wait, is this not the one with the solar?
No. I'm sorry. These are two different situations.
Oh shit. Okay, then yeah, if there's a balloon, then make sure you put that on the disposition material.
Okay.
And
But for
7-year
this
balloon.
one, I don't have one at all because there's
Yeah,
no
for the
additional money.
exactly.
Okay. I'm good. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have any questions? Does anyone not understand what we just did or just went over? This is a template for your disposition material. This is for when you get a deal under contract. This is how you market it to investors so that you can actually make your money. All right, cool. Well, if nobody else has any questions, then I'll go ahead and end this now.
Hey, Sean.
Record. Yeah,
My
what's
bad.
up, dude?
My bad. So I kind of followed everything, but I missed that midterm that you guys went over. Like, why would we need to put that? Number one. Number two, how do you find that number again? I know you said it was kind of easy.
Oh, wait. You mean where do you go to where it'll tell you what the midterm rental rate is? Or you're talking about the actual formula for the disposition material?
I mean, okay. So I know in the calculator you have long term and short term. So I guess first, like, why would you need to put midterm in there as well?
So if a deal, most midterm rentals are within 10 miles. I believe it's 10 miles, maybe 12. Obviously, the closer the better. But really good midterm rentals have 3 hospitals or big clinics, big medical centers within 10 to 12 miles of the property. If you've got a 3, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, holy shit, a 5 bedroom, if that's a decent sized house and it's 10 to 12 miles from a bunch of hospitals or medical centers and things like that, what you get is you get traveling nurses, which is a very, very big thing right now. And it has been for a while. And that's what a midterm rental is. It's a furnished room in a house with other people, and you do your thing. It's, month to month, no lease. You do your stint at that hospital, and you're going to do at that hospital, and then you're going to go to that hospital, and then you go to somewhere else with another hospital, and then you move from that midterm rental to another one. So it's a very, very big business around hospitals. And there are even positions, I come from medical, so there are positions in hospitals where that's all they do is find housing for the nurses that they're bringing in to help them while they're short staffed, traveling nurses. So that's why you would run midterm rental numbers.
Okay.
And especially if they're good, because usually they are, because you're getting $500, $600, $700, $800 a room per month. That's why I said if you've got a big one, then it's holy shit.
And your deal calculator doesn't do midterm, so you have to do it manually?
Yeah, because it's rare. It's not very common to come across one that's perfect for a midterm rental. It's not that common, but when they do come across, you can just swap out one of the long-term or short-term numbers. It does the exact same calculations for you.
Okay.
I mean, if I start getting a bunch of people saying, "Hey, I'm running into a midterm, how do I calculate that?" Then I'll just add it to the calculator. But right now, it's a little more rare.
Got it. So the hack is to basically take out the numbers from long term and put them in.
Yeah, because you can go to homeads.com/calculator and you punch in the address and it'll give you the long term. And again, it's just like Rent-A-Meter or Zillow Rent or anything like that. But it'll give you the long-term rent, the short-term rent, and the midterm rent for that property. And then you just take the midterm monthly and you swap it out for either the short-term or the long-term. It does the exact same math for you.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else?
Yeah, can we go over an offer I just sent? The realtor sent me back his terms. Can we just see if this works out real quick?
Sure. What kind of deal is it?
It's gonna be sub 2 because he just told me that there's a balance, obviously, on the home.
Okay, but so what were they originally selling the house for? How much?
Let me just go back into Deal Sniper 1 second. Just give me a second. I'm sorry.
Do you think? I wish.
Okay, so 235.
Okay, and what's the mortgage balance?
Mortgage balance is 185.
And did they say that they're willing to do a subject to, or you're assuming it's a subject to?
Well, I sent him the offer. I did it through Deal Machine as a seller finance because I didn't know if there was a mortgage, and then he just sent me the all the numbers on the home. He said balance is around 185, purchase price 235. He wants $25,000 down, and then 7.5% interest.
Okay, so yeah, he's not talking about a subject to.
Okay.
It almost seems like he's wanting to either do a wrap or he wants to do, yeah, because that's not leaving a whole lot on the bone. You said the mortgage balance is what, 185?
Yes.
And then what's the monthly payment?
I got. Let's go back in my deal here. Monthly payment 800 is what I sent to him.
No, I'm sorry. His monthly mortgage payment.
He's not sent me that yet.
Oh, I need that in order to underwrite the deal. However, let's just, for sake of argument, because the other part, I'm just going to say it's $1,000, just easy numbers. Then that means if he wants $25,000 down,
Mm-hmm.
then that leaves a seller finance amount of about $25,000. Is that right? Yeah, it is. $25,000. And then he wants 7.5%.
Correct.
So that would be a monthly payment of $174. What'll it rent for?
It's going estimated rent 1880.
All right, let's do 1900. Okay. I put in 1,000. Now you're going to have to recreate this because we don't know what his actual mortgage payment is. So the cash on cash return isn't going to be correct. It's not bad because the seller finance amount's only $25,000. If the seller finance amount was more than that, then 7.5% would probably kill this deal. But I will tell you this. I'll tell you what it needs to be. So right now, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. If he says that the mortgage payment is too much more than $1,000, it's going to kill the deal. And I'm going to tell you exactly what number you need to look out for. Then we'll work on your entry fee percentage. So you're at 13%. What if it's 1,100? That's it.
I got you.
So if his mortgage payment is $1,100, if it's $1,101 or more, it's not going to work. He can't have that 7%. Now, I mean, again, it's not going to help too much because even if we took away the 7% and only gave him $100 a month, I mean, the deal would still work, but who the hell, he may not even take $100 a month. So his ask is okay simply because his number already started off low. Simply because we're putting 7.5% on $25,000. So it's only coming up with $174 payment. So that's not typical, but yeah, you just need to find out what the mortgage payment is.
Okay, and then let's say it is 1,100 or higher, do we just, the best bet is to just try to negotiate that interest down?
Yeah, you would have to because the minimum cash on cash return has to be between 10 and 12%. And just fair warning, that's bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
To make investors excited. And then you got to couple that with, you have a 16% entry fee, and that is purely because of the down payment that he wants. $20,000 would be better. If you can get him to $20,000 and we kick this up to 30, that only goes to 209. I keep clicking. That's because that's the one you do the most. Yeah, there you go. That's it. You're still at $1,100. So the deal still works.
Okay, so we'll just either have to negotiate the interest or the down payment.
Right. That's assuming his mortgage payment is $1,100 or less.
But obviously, you know, if it's something crazy like $1,500-$1,600, it's never going to work. There's not enough room.
Yeah, there's no money left for the investor. They would be losing money.
I
So
got
what I would do, you know how to use this calculator now, right? Now that
Yeah.
Okay, so all you have to do is recreate this,
Mhm.
and then when you get to the hybrid section, whatever his actual mortgage is, just put it right there, and it'll tell you what your numbers are. Just remember, this is at him getting $20,000 down, and that's why this is at 30. If he hard lines you at 25, then you change that to 25, and you change that to 25, and then run your numbers.
He just said PITI is around $1,750 a month.
Oh shit! Yeah, no,
Never going to happen.
never, because even if there was no payment to him at all, it's only renting for $1,900, not including anything at all. He's only getting the investor only be getting $150 in profit per month, and that's not including war chest or anything like that. Yeah, he'd be losing $4,000 a year.
Yeah. Not worth it at all.
Not at all. There's nothing you can do with that, unfortunately.
That's all right. Awesome. Thank you.
Not a problem, dude. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, cool. This recording will be up tomorrow morning at around 8 a.m. I'll be in the Discord for another hour or so if anybody needs any help. Other than that, you guys have a great night. Talk to you later.